Hey there, and welcome to my lazy review of the new film Meg 2: The Trench, which is a sequel to The Meg.
Duh!
As soon as I saw the first trailer for Meg 2, I mean, come on, guys, at this point, just like the first Meg, you know exactly what the fuck you're getting and what you're walking into, so I'm fine with that. But beforehand, let's see, I got Starry Zero Sugar, which is, let's be honest, guys, Starry Sprite, it's all the same shit to me. But, okay, I'm trying this out with some good old. I had this New Amsterdam, and it's this apple vodka. I'm sure someone's like, you son of a bitch, mixing vodka with soda, but hey, look, fresh out the freezer, right? Let's look at that freezer fluff on it and shit. And let's just talk about more Jason Statham and more 100-foot fucking sharks. And okay. Surprisingly enough, though, my review may surprise you because well, let's just talk about this when I try this drink. You ready? Okay. That's good.
It tastes so good.
Okay, before I start my intro, I have three questions which I always ask, and number one is, did I like this film? Number two, do I think you should see it? Hence, would I recommend it? And number three, but most importantly to me, is this movie worth your hard-earned money? Because I'll tell you one thing, I can't always see them, but in my area, they had an RPX shown, and I figured for the extra $5, I want to see bigger sharks and octopuses. And that's all I can say, guys. Let's drink some more of this stuff, start the intro, and I'll tell you how I felt about Meg 2: The Trench. You ready? Apple vodka. All right. Now, what's going on with Meg 2? This was kind of strange because the opening of the movie is just like the trailer. Okay, 65 million years ago, here's a T-Rex. What's scarier than a T-Rex? A big megalodon eats it. Let's move on. Now, 5 years has passed since the first film, and we cut to Jonas, which is Jason Statham, and I'm just going to call him Statham for this review. And what is he doing? He's taking down bad guys that are dumping, I guess, nuclear waste into international waters. And then we cut to his new friend of Zhang. Now, Zhang is a billionaire, and I'm not joking. These guys actually had a megalodon pup, and it was injured, and they've been raising this thing and studying it. And okay, this can happen with wild animals. But what does he want to do? He's developing this new technology, and you see like these kind of mech suits, and they're these underwater suits where they can study the trench better than ever before. Because much like the first film, they talk about there's like this natural thermal layer that separates, they call it our world versus their world. But essentially, it's this big temperature thing where the megalodons usually can't cross this threshold. Now, even as I'm saying this, I'm not trying to fucking laugh too hard, but before they go down there, what does he do? Zhang jumps inside this tank where they've been raising this fucking megalodon, and perhaps they watch too much Jurassic World or something, but he has a clicker and he's telling these guys, hey, I've been training this megalodon and I have a clicker, and they're all like, are you fucking stupid? It's gonna eat you. And no, I formed a bond with this megalodon prehistoric 100-foot fucking shark, and he has his clicker. It's about to kill him, and it doesn't. And I'm watching this thinking, what the fuck? It's like, how drunk do you have to be to write this shit, right? So, of course, what does the team do? They go to the trench, they make it down, and come to find out there were other people down there, and these guys were mining. What are they mining? Some new super secret bullshit ore that only exists underneath the trench. And I was like, you know what? Just call this shit unobtainium, right? Now, apparently, one of the members from this opposite team, the guy's an asshole, and he sets these guys up and sets off this freaking bomb. But beforehand, and again, I'm not making this shit up, the captured megalodon that apparently had the bond with Zhang, she breaks out of captivity and she follows these guys down to the trench. And also, she's in heat and it's mating season. I'm trying not to laugh, but
Are you serious? Are you serious?
then come to find out there's more megalodons, and we get the infamous Jason Statham line of,
That's the biggest Meg I've ever seen.
Biggest Meg anyone's ever seen.
essentially, they're all trapped down there because their ship is busted. And what do they have to do? They have to walk to this underwater space station or underwater station, whatever. And they have to go on this big walking simulator. And I'm just telling myself that, Jesus Christ, guys, with the marketing being bigger and better and more fucking Megs, we've only seen the Megs 2 times and nobody's been killed yet. And it just drags on and on. And finally, of course, as they do, everybody escapes. They make it to the station. And then when they make it out, the friggin' explosion sets off some kind of ripple effect, and it makes the hole inside of this barrier and now the Megalodons come out, and I'm thinking, finally, some great action.
Soothing action.
As soon as the action kicks in, it's fun, it's over the top, it's bullshit, and I'm not lying, it takes place on Fun Island. But yeah, as you see in the trailers, the 3 Megalodons, and of course some bullshit Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
The Megalodons and the Kraken just start killing people because that's what they do, and now it's up to Statham and his team to take down the evil sharks and the Kraken, and it's just one glorious moment after other glorious moment. You can tell in the trailers it's bullshit, like a Megalodon's being chained up and Statham is kicking it in the fucking face and he's running away, and I just couldn't help but bust out laughing where he's fighting one of the bad guys, the bad guy cuts his hand, and of course Statham, he sees a Megalodon coming, and no bullshit, it's like, as the thing's coming, he kicks the fucking guy off the pier, and as soon as the guy flies off the pier, the Megalodon just swims up and bites him, and Statham's like, "You're chum," and
he's a fucking badass.
And of course, one last bullshit moment because the Kraken is about to kill Zang, and guess what? To his rescue, just like Blue from Jurassic World, this Megalodon that formed a bond with Zang, she comes and she helps murder the Kraken to save Zang, and I can't make this shit up.
All right, this is goddamn ridiculous.
And that's it. That's the plot of the film, as you guys would imagine. Of course, Jason Statham and his team take down the Kraken and the Megalodons, and I just gotta say before I get into my 3 questions that I had a certain expectation of this film going in from watching the first film. The first film I still think has a good blend of action, pacing. This one, okay, let's get a little bit critical. I didn't feel the same way, and overall my expectations were kind of watered down.
You're not funny.
Because my 3 questions as we talk about is, number 1, did I like this film? I liked it, but honestly, only the fucking last half hour, because it's like the first and second act, not a lot goes on, and it's a lot of dialogue and more dialogue, to the point where I'm just here to see sharks fucking eat people. And especially the marketing of like, look, now there's a pack of Megs, now there's a Kraken, now it's bigger, it's better, there's like an even bigger Megalodon than before. So if you're gonna have bigger and better, show bigger and better, show more action scenes. And I was timing this again on my phone. With the film being 1 hour and 46 minutes, honestly, the whole Fun Island doesn't take place until like an hour and 20 or 22 minutes into the film. So we're only getting 15 to 20 kind of minutes of shark action. And I understand the fact that a film like this, there's not much you can do with massive prehistoric sharks. Come to the first film had a good blend of both of those. So with the second question of would I recommend it? Honestly, I would only recommend it if you were a fan of the first one and only the first one. And honestly, even then, it's very thin because I feel like you'd have to like really enjoy the third act only. So overall, I honestly wouldn't recommend this film to most people, just really diehard fans and little kids of big shark fucking movies. And now third and lastly, do I think this is worth your money? Again, I've seen this in RPX, and I feel like for $20 for an RPX ticket, it was an overall waste of a damn ticket, and my rating system would have to be that wait for streaming.
Wait for it.
In the end, Meg 2 The Trench, when I put this under my categories, I think it falls under the category of a lesser sequel. Didn't hate it. I thought the action was fantastic and over the top when it was there, but there wasn't much of it. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I can say. As I always do, I have to check my freaking watch. I am low on time. I'm going to grab Bender and start to edit and finish off some more of this delicious apple vodka. You ready, guys? I'll see you later. Peace out.
This calls for a drink.
One last thing.
It's called a catchphrase.
I have to head back to work.